All right, everybody, if you're wondering about do you own your voice, you're going to find out today on HAX Labs, so stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. If you haven't already done, I'd love if you would subscribe to our channels. If you're seeing us on social media like X or Twitter, I guess that's what it's called, right? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, a bunch of others. We'd love for you to follow us and learn more about the human voice, the God-given talent, and also what it means in the AI world. Okay, let's get started. This is a big one today. I'm going to read a lot on my screen, so just bear with me. A bill just passed in the Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously that would give every American a federal right to their own voice and likeness. Now, I think we all like to hear that, right? This is not a state law. It's not a platform policy. A federal property right, same category as owning your name. It's called the No Fake Act. Let me read this. It's S4591. And if you work in voice or content or anything creative, this is the biggest piece of legislation you haven't heard of yet. So let's jump into this a little bit more. Right now, if someone builds an unauthorized digital replica of your voice, what you can do about it depends entirely on state-by-state legislation. In Tennessee has the Elvis Act. California, New York, Texas, and Illinois have their own versions in motion. Everyone else is sort of in the gray matter. Now, what does that mean to you? This No Fake Act sets one federal standard, very important. Every person owns the right to their own voice and likeness. If someone wants to build a digital replica of your voice, they need your permission first, not permission implied by fine print buried in a contract. That right doesn't expire when you do either. This is really important. It can continue on up to 70 years. So if you have a family member who you passed on the rights to that voice, they can continue to still have that ownership. And so this is almost like, I guess you would say, a patent of some type. And it's not just on individuals to enforce. Platforms get pulled in too. It borrows the same notice and takedown process copyright law already uses. You send a valid notice, the platform has to act. If someone disputes it, there's a counter notice process, and if they file a false one knowingly, they're on the hook for some real money. Now, most of you already know that my voice has been used throughout the world. One of the number one voices, I guess, I wouldn't say number one of the top voices in the world used on social media. I started this 3 years ago. It's on some major platforms like 11 Labs, known as the Brian voice. This is one of those things I always wanted to be aware of, and I was watching. So it's very important for all of us who have good voices and want to use them for their career. All right. Now, where it stands right now, the bill has been kicking around in different forms since about 2023. What change has actually moved? June 18th, the Senate Judiciary Committee voted it out unanimously by voice vote. Next stop is the full Senate floor. The coalition behind it, let me read some of these names. They've been out to Washington. If you're in NAVA, you already have been following this. Tim Freelander's been out there speaking on behalf. We are members of NAVA and full supporters of it. SAG-AFTRA, RIAA, Disney, YouTube, the Motion Picture Association, and as I mentioned, the National Association of Voice Actors, known as NAVA. Even OpenAI and Google backed it when it was first introduced. You don't usually get labor unions in the studios and big tech to all combine and to come as one on that. And it's not just industry insiders, guys. Over 16,000 people signed an open letter pushing Congress to pass it. Pretty powerful. Before the vote even happened. Now, regular people, not just performers, because more people are realizing this isn't just a Hollywood problem. This could be your voice problem. All right. So here's where I want to slow down. And because if you're a voice actor and you're thinking about becoming one, this is part that actually touches your paycheck and your career. Right now, without a federal standard, a lot of voice talent are signing contracts they don't fully understand the scope of. Some of them are handing rights over to their voices for use forever, perpetuity. cross projects they've never even seen for compensation that doesn't reflect what an unlimited license is actually worth. That's not hypothetical, man. This is happening. As I mentioned before, I signed an agreement with a major technical platform. I call them tech platforms that build these, and it is probably known as the OG. But for time's sake, I'll just say this: that I went in and I had my attorneys review it. I reviewed it, and I stood up for my rights. And it was a fair agreement that was between two parties. But many of you are, businessmen, businesswomen, one person. It's a little intimidating, and so you're not sure, so you just sign it. Guys, that's not what we're about here at HAX Labs, and I'll talk about that in a minute. A federal right to your own voice changes the leverage completely. It means consent isn't just a nice thing a company chooses to offer you. It becomes a baseline requirement, the floor everyone has to build on top of. That's important to understand. This is honestly the same conversation we've been having since day one at HAX Labs. Consent isn't a marketing angle for us. It's the very foundation the business has been built on. That's what I believe. I'm a former voice actor. I've been on for the last 30 years. While I don't have time to do live voice acting, I have a passion for my brothers and sisters in this industry that do. And we will not allow people to get taken advantage of. So every voice actor we work with knows exactly that they're agreeing to, for how long, and what they're getting paid to it. Seeing that principle show up in a piece of federal legislation isn't a surprise to us. It's honestly overdue. Now, I want to be fair here, okay, because it didn't pass without pushback. That's worth talking about instead of pretending it's simple. Let me give you what happened when they all met. Even in the unanimous committee vote, 3 Republican senators, Mike Lee, Ted Cruz, Eric Schmidt, voted yes, but publicly flagged First Amendment concerns on the way out. Cruz specifically brought up AI-generated satire, the kind of used in political ads, and said he didn't want a bill like this accidentally sweeping in stuff that should be protected speech. The bill does carve out exceptions for news, documentary, sports, biographical, and parody content, but where exactly that line lands in practice is, you guys know, is going to be tested, okay? So I'm going to be straight with you. I haven't seen anything solid yet on how easy or hard it will be for a hardworking voice actor to enforce without a legal team behind them. Now, I'm not a legal team. I don't even play a legal guy on television, so don't ask me for advice. But that's my honest read on it, and it's not something anyone's officially said. So take it as a question worth watching rather than as a fact. I bring all this up because I'd rather engage with it honestly than just cheerlead it. The intent is right. Whether the execution holds up once it hits the real world is still for open discussion. Now, if this passes and there's real momentum behind it, I think we're going to see a real shift in how companies approach AI voice work and how we are treated as voice actors. Right now, some companies treat consent as a checkbox, something you get once and then use forever, however you want. If a federal standard exists, that mindset stops working. Consent has to become an ongoing, specific, honest conversation between a company and the people whose voices they're going to use. That's not a threat to the AI voice space. Honestly, it's the thing that makes the space sustainable long term. Talent won't work if companies don't trust. That's the truth. Audiences are getting sharper about spotting content that feels, exploitative versus content that feels built the right way. And a federal rights to your own voice actually raises the floor for everybody who's already doing it right. That's why here at HAX Labs, the way we did it from day one, consent first, isn't a slogan we slapped on after the fact. It's the actual structure underneath everything. Every voice actor on our roster knows exactly what they agreed to, what they're getting paid, for how long before anything ever gets used. We didn't wait for a law to tell us what was the right thing to do. But it's generally encouraging to see Washington is starting to wake up and think about it, and hopefully they'll agree with us. So As we wrap up here, keep an eye on this one. It's through committee, headed onto the Senate floor next, and there's real momentum behind it getting signed into law this year. If you want to understand more about what consent-first AI voice work actually looks like in practice, that's exactly what we're here for. So, until next time, guys, I hope this was valuable for you. We are here to support our hardworking family of voice actors that wake up every day to make incredible content that the world loves. So if you want to know more information, check us out. Watch more about us on HAX Labs and go to our website, hax-labs.com. See you next time.